How are we doing, guys? And we're back again with the player ratings. The first one of the new season, of course, for Leeds United's massive victory in the pre-season friendly over Blackpool. Now, just a caveat. Obviously, as you guys will know, whoever watched this Scott's watch along yesterday, I had a bit of a problem watching the game. But since then, I've been able to watch a little bit more of it. I've seen enough of it to think I can give reasonably balanced ratings. But Phil is going to take over the vast majority of these player ratings. So let's
expect it to be fair, of course. Very balanced as always.
Yeah. I know. Phil, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've had a little bit of a rest. I've had a bit of a switch off from the Leeds United and football stratosphere as much as I could. But yeah, I got to the point where I was starting to miss it. And then obviously it came back yesterday, and there was bits I was looking forward to seeing, bits I wasn't. And I think most people will say pleasantly surprised in terms of it was good. It was positive. There's loads of good things to take away from it. Same time, it is just a pre-season friendly. Let's not get too carried away. It's not like we've beaten Real Madrid 4-0, but
no, Phil, get carried away. Carried away.
It's a good start. It's a good start to pre-season. We've seen the first signs of maybe what is to come this season. And I don't know about you, but one thing I was really, really pleased to see. I was expecting this season for us to really go at that 4-2-2-2. And it was a 4-2-3-1. And when I realised that instantly made me kind of buy in a bit more to this upcoming season. I've been still sort of lingering from the hangover of last season and wondering, is it going to be a bit like more of the same, or are we really going to see marsh ball? And so, I was encouraged with the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I think we'll see some variations throughout pre-season. I think it's natural. But let's go into the first player who played only the first half. I think, if I remember rightly, 𝐅𝐻𝐿𝐼. I can't really remember 𝐿𝐼 doing much.
No, he had one. To be honest, both keepers had one save to make in each half. I'd say the Klaassen save in the second half was actually a genuine big chance. So he's done really well and will get a higher rating from me just on that. But 𝐿𝐼 literally had one save to make. It was a bit of a pot shot from the left-hand side of the area, low to his near post, and he saved it. I've given him a 6 because I don't really think he touched the ball that many times, so it's kind of hard to go any higher. But without jumping ahead, I don't know which way you want to work this, but I've gone weirdly enough the same for Klaassen. I've gone 6 there, but if I was going to bump one up, it would be Klaassen just because it was a better save and it kept a clean sheet, whereas 𝐿𝐼 didn't really need to.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I think, I've gone one up as well on Klaassen, so I've gone 6 and 7. So I think we can probably, there's not much more to discuss on that one. Let's talk about, what, sorry, mate?
6.5 for Klaassen?
No. Let's be honest. He made a better save, Phil. He made a better save. Yeah. I'd rather just go. Let's just go 6 and 6. I'm not doing this 6.5 thing. I want to move on from this quickly, and you're holding it up, man. You're holding it up again.
Yeah, go on, go. Just.
I want to talk about Cody Drama at right back because
you watch Love Island with Scott, don't you?
What's that?
You watch Love Island with Scott, don't you?
Oh, I'm not watching that. Could you look at me in the eye if I watch Love Island, Phil?
I kind of thought you did anyway, mate. Come on, let's go on with Cody Drama.
Right, anyway, Cody Drama. Really encouraging, got forward well. I think it was a good performance. I've gone 7 out of 10. And I think what I will say about Cody Drama is had he not gone out on loan to Cardiff and stayed on the bench for Leeds, there's not a chance he would have started last night for me. I think it's really benefited him, that whole move, getting regular football. And it's one of the reasons why I'm kind of starting to come round to the idea of Charlie Creswell going out on loan. I'm thinking, that could work really, really well. But Cody I thought was really good. 7 out of 10 I've gone with.
Yeah, I'm not too far behind. I went 6.5, and I'll be honest. I think in terms of the really promising things I saw from last night that were encouraging, I liked the way that as a team we saw the marsh ball bit of the fullbacks getting forward, and I thought both our fullbacks actually had a really good game. I thought we were a bit more dangerous down the left, which we'll come on to. But generally speaking, I was really happy with the way that the fullbacks got involved and really got up the pitch and created chances. And normally in the Premier League, when we've seen our fullbacks bomb on, we've seen all the goals we conceded since Marsh came in sort of end up being conceded from those fullback areas. But the fullbacks got forward last night and we didn't concede really any chances at all. So I was really pleased with the way that we did that. And obviously, I've given Drama 6.5, but what about you? What have you gone for? Are you going to go straight to left back, or are you going to go for the centre backs first?
Let's move across. We'll go to the centre backs. We'll move across right to left. So let's go with Robin Koch first of all, who also played 45 minutes, if I remember rightly. Again, didn't really have much to do. Good on the ball, nice and composed. 6, I reckon, is about right on Robin Koch.
I went 7. I went slightly higher, perhaps, just because he got the goal. And
that's true. Sorry, I did forget about the Robin Koch goal. To be fair, so let's go for 7.
Yeah, I went slightly higher, but I mean, going back onto the Drama thing, actually, with what you were saying, I actually thought him starting the game last night was to put him in the shop window so that he could potentially go out on loan again. In the room.
Aiden's got a big injury though.
Is it?
Aiden's out until I think it's 4 months from May, so he's looking at least 2 months of the season, and that's not even including time to get back in. But
you think he's going to get past?
I like 𝐃𝐿, but I'm looking at that Cody Drama performance and thinking, I know it's only against Blackpool, but I'm thinking in terms of the quality he delivered into the box, the all-round game, getting up and down the pitch quite easily. I'm starting to think Cody Drama's got a real case to be our backup. Because look, Rasmus Christensen will be the number one right back. There's no doubt about that. He will play week in, week out. I think Cody Drama quietly has got a better case at this moment in time. But listen, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his best chance of getting minutes again this season, to anywhere to the extent of what he got last season at Cardiff, is going out on loan again. But I don't know. I think we'll see. Obviously, Christensen will be first choice. When Ailing's back fit, he'll be second choice. If Dallas ever gets back as well, I think he'll be in front of that. Cody Drama at that right back slot as well. It's just the second or third choice for every position. So, I think maybe it was to sort of get him in the shop window and see if we could get him moved, but we'll see. But Koch 7, and then obviously Pascal, intrigue. Like, I thought both of them had a solid game. Not really a lot for them to do, but did you go any higher or lower for Pascal? You're on mute, mate.
Sorry. I did initially go for a 6 on both the centre backs, but forgetting about Robin Koch obviously getting the early goal, I did go slightly higher just off the fact he scored. But 6-ish for Pascal Struijk, but he's decent. And to be fair, I think it's an interesting one for Pascal this season. He's not done his chances of starting ahead of Liam Cooper in that left-sided centre-back spot any harm, but I don't think he's massively improved them either in this one game. But we'll see. I'd imagine Cooper will start the next one, to be fair. It might be UNT and Cooper the next game. But I certainly think Koch gave himself a better case to be the starting centre-back than Struijk, if that makes sense. So 7 and 6 for me.
I think the reason that Koch and Struijk obviously started and played the minutes anyway is because they were literally the first two back in training in pre-season, so it kind of made sense. And obviously the internationals have come back a bit later, but with Pascal, same as you. I mean, I've actually only given 3 players a 6. 2 of them were the goalkeepers, and one is Charlie Allen that came on as a sub really late in the game. Everyone else has got a bit higher, so. I've given Pascal 6.5, and I know you're not going to enjoy the 0.5, but I put Koch slightly higher, just because obviously he got the goal. But I thought both of them solid on the ball and solid in terms of not really giving much away at all. So, generally speaking, a really easy night for the defenders. But obviously, as pre-season goes on, hopefully they'll get a bit more of a challenge. And like you said, I do see Pascal sort of continuing as he was last season. And if Cooper is fit and ready to play, he will start. He will captain the side. But at right centre back, perhaps maybe Koch can genuinely put his hat in the ring to sort of take over that slot from Llorente, or at least get a bit more game time in that position than he did last season. You
might even see. Obviously, we know. I'm going to move on to the player who I know you absolutely can't wait to talk about, and your man of the match actually from yesterday's game, I believe, or contender for man of the match. But just before I go on to him, Junior Firpo, that is. Junior Firpo obviously with an injury record, obviously does tend to pick up the Oz yellow card. We might even see Pascal be an option at left back. I think he did a decent enough job there last season. Can he overlap like Firpo, like he would a traditional left back? Probably not. But defensively, there's no problem with him playing out the back. In the tighter spaces, there's no problem in that kind of regard. So yeah, I think he can do a job there as well. I think he's going to be an important part of the team in that respect, Stuart. But let's talk about Junior Firpo, because I thought he was excellent. I know Scott and the watch-along mentioned a couple of times he did get done, dribble pass by the Blackpool winger, but I thought he was fine, to be honest with you. I know there was the odd time where he probably could have done a little bit better, but was delivering in the wide areas, got up and down the pitch pretty well, took his goal well. I've got to go in 8. I think it was probably pound for pound his best game for Leeds United.
Yeah, no, it's painful given everything I've said about him, but yeah, I can't really disagree. Just before I go into it, I do want to say, when you were talking about Pascal potentially filling in at left back on the Cody Drama thing, if you see Pascal still continuing as an option at left back, which I think Hetjelder will be as well, then again I would say Robin Koch at right back is more of an option than Drama at the moment. So that would also lead me towards but anyway, go on. I'm not going to give anything low for Firpo. I'm going the same as you. I did give him an 8 out of 10. I had him as man of the match, weirdly enough. I thought he was the best player on the team. He got a goal from a corner. He set up the Joffrey goal that got disallowed. And generally speaking, like I said, on the right back, the way that we attacked with our fullbacks getting really deep into opposition territory and creating chances with crosses, it probably was the best game I've seen Junior Firpo have in a Leeds shirt. And look, it is Blackpool. It is a pre-season friendly, but bearing in mind, I'm more than happy to sit and eat my words. I've spoken nothing but shit about him for a very long time. So to see him actually put a performance in at the start of pre-season, and if that can continue throughout pre-season, you can take a bit of confidence into the season. Phil Hayes said today, look, he's just bought a house in Leeds. He's not going anywhere. He is going to be our first choice left back this season. So let's get some confidence in him and get him playing. And if he can play like that in the Premier League, then I'll soon be eating my words even more. So I'm perfectly happy giving him man of the match for last night.
Yeah, I agree. I think me and Scott did discuss quite a number of weeks ago, but I do expect a much better version of Junior Firpo this season. I do genuinely expect that. I'm not just going off this game. I know it's Blackpool, etc., but I think he will improve this season. I think he feels more suited to a Jesse Marsh system than what he did a Marcelo Bielsa system. I think that's for sure. There's just a couple of different bits and pieces you've got to look at with Firpo. There's been a lot of players at Leeds in the last couple of seasons who have improved in that second season. I think Jack Harrison's one that comes to mind. Alioski, they have got better in that second season. And I think the same should happen for Junior Firpo. Is he long-term the option at left back? Who knows? But I think for next season, yeah, look, of course, you want to get a bit of competition to Junior Firpo because we have to look at what he produced last season over the season. You want some competition there as well. Whether we're going to bring in competition, I don't know. But yeah, I think, listen, if he has a good pre-season, that's the main thing. Villa, Palace, really good tests. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays both those games. If he performs in those as well, then yeah, I think he's earned his place. I think you have to go off what they're doing in pre-season. If they're performing in pre-season, then yeah, he deserves his place in the team, or at least a chance to start the season. But yeah, look, it's going to take a lot longer to win fans over, and that's fair enough. But let's move on then to the midfields. Let's go to Archie Gray first. I thought Archie Gray, 7 out of 10. I think in the context of being 16-year-olds and they're up against the championship team, I think you've got to talk about a 10 out of 10 performance in that kind of regard. In terms of what he's produced. 7 out of 10, nice and disciplined, kept things ticking over. I'm used to seeing Archie Gray for the 23s playing high on the pitch. It was interesting to see him more defensive, but I thought got stuck in defensively, positioned well, goes on the ball, didn't give the ball away, nice and solid. 7 for me.
Yeah. No, I must admit, like you, I was really surprised at first to see him playing in that role, because originally I just assumed it would be 4-2-2-2, and that Archie Gray would be playing at 10. But yeah, I actually thought he had a really good game. I I don't think that we should get overly excited. And I've seen loads of people on Twitter talking him up and saying it was a world-class performance or it was a brilliant performance or a 10 out of 10. Look, I'd give him a 7, same as you, and I'm really pleased with the way he played. And obviously, you do have to take into the context that he is 16 and the fact that he's even involved in that game is mental. He's obviously a talented boy, but I always sort of hark back to the Leeds That podcast a few months ago, did an interview with the agent of like Cresswell and Shackleton, and he was talking about the pressure on these young players. He was talking mainly about Joffrey, but just sort of not necessarily burdening them with too much pressure. Look, let's enjoy having someone like that in the team and being the opportunity to bring someone through like we did with a Calvin. And, you know, Calvin's just gone. We've got a gap now for someone to come in and take the hearts of Leeds fans. Like, it's good to have that there, but just don't want to put too much pressure on him. Great to see him get minutes and great to see him play well. I think he probably could have come off a little bit sooner to avoid getting injured. I hope he's all right and can still get more minutes in pre-season. But yeah, glad he got to start the game and play some minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive for a 16-year-old to be playing a pre-season friendly for a Premier League team. It's absolutely insane. I remember when I was 16 and the thought of playing for a Premier League club in a friendly is just absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. Let's move on to debutant, who I thought was a strong contender as well for man of the match, Marc Roca. Yeah. And listen, we don't want to get too carried away on these player ratings, but Marc Roca is basically the next Pirlo. I've said it. But no, listen. I thought it was a really strong performance from him. This has been a sign that really excites me. Probably excites me as much as any of our signings, to be honest, because he gives us that technical quality in midfield. And it's something I think we've missed in midfield for a while. And there's someone who can really take the game by a scruff of a neck and control the game with the ball and just gives you that bit of composure. How can you not get excited about a Spanish midfielder, man? How can you not get excited? 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go 8 out of 10. I do want to draw your attention back, especially you, Oscar, and if anyone watched it at the time. But we did the transfer show about 1.5 years ago, and we spoke about who would replace Calvin Phillips, and we named 2 people that we have now signed in this position. We named both Tyler Adams and Marc Roca. So we called it 1.5 years ago. We told you that this is exactly who Victor Otto was looking at. I was thinking today, actually, I might go back and see who we looked at in the striker episode so that I can break that news before anyone else as well.
Listen, man, we found 𝐃𝐎𝐖𝐍𝐋𝐄, Robert Sanchez. Who else we found? Centre-back. It was a centre-back we found as well.
We had Tomiyasu that's gone to Arsenal now.
Tomiyasu, yeah, that's a pretty decent one as well.
Where the scouting that we did for that show, we
have to there. No, we probably didn't, but we can claim it. We can claim it, can't we? No. We thought about putting him in. We definitely thought about putting him in.
We fucked him off. We had Kubo though instead, didn't we? We had Takefusa Kubo.
We did.
We had loads, but yeah, like if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that show because I find it hilarious that we basically said that we would sign one of, if not 2. At the time, obviously, I think he'd just moved to Bayern, Roca, and his market value on transfer market was something daft like 35 million, and it's hilarious that we've gone on to sign him for like 10 million quid.
That's a mad fee. It makes me feel so much better about Calvin now that we managed to get him for 10 mil because what he can do on the ball, he's not a direct Calvin replacement, but in terms of what he can do on the ball, it's very similar to Calvin for me.
Yeah, I think I haven't really had my
if not more technically better than Calvin, I'd probably say, in terms of there's certain things he can do, like turn and twist and turn, a bit more nimble than Calvin on the ball. Obviously, nowhere near as good off the ball, but interesting alternative.
That's where I was just going, to be honest. I mean, I haven't really said too much about the Calvin thing. I haven't really spoken to anyone about it because I've just been too busy with work and stuff. But I actually was at the kind of from our mind frame weeks before it got announced where I kind of thought it was the right time for both parties, that was the right deal to take. Again, I was disappointed with the fee. I thought it should have been closer to 50 million. But generally speaking, like I think if Calvin would have stayed here another year because he doesn't suit the system and it isn't working on the first 12 games under Marsh anyway, the bits that he was there, he didn't look the same player. I kind of think if we would have sold him next summer, regardless of the contract situation, I think we would have got a hell of a lot less money because I don't think he would have had the same season that he's had for the last 3 years. So I think it was the right time for Calvin to obviously go on and better himself. And I think it was the right time for us to move on from a lot of that core of the championship squad and build something for Jesse Marsch. And obviously, in terms of the way that these two players, I know I am going to bring it back on to Marc Roca and how he played last night. I'm not just going off on a tangent, but like with Adams and with Roca, I've got mates that have said to me, like, they're nowhere near as good as Kalvin. I'm not saying they are, but I think in this system, with Kalvin Phillips, even if we were to play the 4-2-3-1 rather than the 4-2-2-2, Kalvin's strength is that beautiful diag over to a winger and spraying balls around like he did in that Everton game and dictating play. Whereas the strength that we saw, like for the 𝐃𝐎𝐓𝐁𝐃 goal last night that got disallowed, that Roca pass to Firpo, that's not a pass that Kalvin specialises in. And Tyler Adams, the way that he can keep the ball in tight areas and constantly drill that ball forward. These two players are more suited to this system and the way that Marsch wants to play. So I'm actually quite encouraged by the fact that we've, again, the Ben White thing where we could have gone and splashed 40 million. We got Coq and Llorente for less. This time we've sold Kalvin for 42 million and we've got Marc Roca and Tyler Adams for less. So we'll hopefully, look, it bolsters the numbers in the squad. There's 5 subs in the Premier League this season. So we needed depth, and we've got 2 players that hopefully will do a job. But last night, I think we saw a little bit of what we can expect from Marc Roca. He's really composed on the ball. Again, caveat it is Blackpool. It is a pre-season friendly. They had their kids out for bits of it as well. But really composed on the ball. There was one very David Batty-esque tackle that I saw in there that really excited me. I gave him 7, the same as I gave Archie Gray, but I definitely expect to see a lot more minutes for Roca this season. I think he'll be crucial to the way we play.
And another one of those players where it's interesting how he performs against Villa and Palace. Can he stand out in that game? But let's move on then. Let's move on to the front 4, attacking 4, whichever way you want to put it. Who do you want to go for first?
We kind of had Rodrigo on the right wing. So
let's go Rodrigo. Let's go Rodrigo then first. Another one of your favourites. Let's get the rating from you first, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I went 6.5. I don't think he really stood out and did anything special. But yeah, I think in terms of going forward, like I said before, I thought the left-hand side was more dangerous than the right. But can't really have any complaints. I don't really think he did too much wrong. I just think it was more threatening from the other side. So 6.5 for Rodrigo, but it's not a criticism by any stretch.
Yeah, I'd probably go 7. I think he was a bit better. I thought he was good last night, to be honest, Rodrigo. Yes, he was against Blackpool, but he's out of position. I think he looked more comfortable. I think he had more time, when he's picking up the ball. When he's playing number 10, you're in a really crowded part of the pitch, but picking up the ball isolated against the fullback, I thought he looked really comfortable. And obviously having drama on the overlap ahead of him and options either side of him as well. I thought he looked much better on the ball. Like he was much more less giving the ball away, making the right decisions. By no means the best of the front 4, but I thought he looked comfortable last night.
My only question with Rodrigo and with him potentially looking more comfortable at right wing in the Rafinha role, basically. If Rafinha does go, which he probably will, I still don't see Rodrigo getting any minutes in that position. Surely, like. We've got wingers, we've got Harrison, we've got Sinisterra now, we've got Dan James. Those 3 will all play at that position before Rodrigo.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Listen, mate, it's only against. Listen, I'm not doing disrespectful to Blackpool, but it's only Blackpool. I'm not. Rodrigo and saying.
Do you think it was like an experiment putting him there? Or?
Oh, absolutely, it's an experiment because let's be honest. Brendan Aronson is number 1 now for that 10 position. There's no doubt about it. And Aronson, I think, is a really, really strong signing. He has not signed for Leeds United to be backup for Rodrigo. No disrespect to Rodrigo. That's not what he's being brought in to do. But Rodrigo now is in a position where he's going to be a bit more of a utility player, we're hoping. Where he's going to maybe have the odd 20 minutes up top, the odd 20 minutes at 10, the odd 20 minutes maybe on the sides now.
The attacking Stuart Dallas, basically.
Maybe that's what I'm possibly saying. I think that maybe that it doesn't feel like Rodrigo's going to be number 1 for any of the positions unless he has a really, really strong run of form.
Of course, captain as well last night, which was a
listen. I know you've been critical of Rodrigo from that point of view, but I've seen nothing but praise to be fair for Rodrigo after the game. I think someone put in the comments there, spent half an hour signing autographs for kids, which is obviously great to see. But Jesse Marsh seems to have really put Rodrigo in this leadership group and made him a key part of it. So I'd be very surprised if Rodrigo moves on. But at the same time, I just don't see where he starts for Leeds. And I certainly don't think he'll be the replacement for Raf if Raf does move on. I think it'll be Harrison, possibly moving to that side, James, different options. We might go back to a 4-2-2-2 if Rafinha goes. Who knows? But I don't feel like it's going to be Rodrigo there. But I might be wrong. For me. Let's move on to Sam Greenwood then, who seems to be just playing just behind Joffrey Gelhardt. What did you go for first of all, mate? 'Cause I'm a little bit tied on Sam Greenwood a little bit for the last night.
I went the same. I went 6.5, but if I was marking his free kicks, I'd have given him like a 2 or something. His free kicks were shit. But generally in open play, I think one thing you can say about all the front four, especially in the first half, the way that we pressed Blackpool and gave them no time was really impressive. That counter-pressing style, genuinely last night was the first time you've actually seen it in full flow. The way that we pressed them, we didn't give them any time at all, and that front four was constantly energetic. I thought Greenwood of the 4 was probably the one that was considerably better without the ball than he was with it. I thought the other 3 were both better in possession, but without the ball, I thought Greenwood. I sound like fucking Heckingbottom here, but yeah, without the ball, I genuinely thought Greenwood had a better game chasing people than he did in terms of creating anything. But yeah, I've gone 6.5, and obviously the other 2 I've gone a lot higher.
Yeah, I was going between a 6 and a 7, but I'll go 7 because I thought his pressing was really effective. And I really liked Sam Greenwood. I thought his performance on that last game of the season, deeper, was really encouraging as well. And I'm a big fan of Sam Greenwood. I think the fact that Gelhardt's been so good, Creswell's been so impressive, all the other players, he kind of gets forgotten about a little bit how good Sam Greenwood actually is and that how well he performed last season. I think it was 3 assists in the end and did change a lot of games for Leeds. That Watford one was a prime example. I really am looking forward to seeing Sam Greenwood this season. I don't think he'll be a starter, but again, with the 5 subs on the bench, he's a really nice, tidy option to have. He can do a job up top, he can do a job in the 10. He showed he can play a little bit deeper as well if needed. If we can go out a little bit more attack-minded, maybe play alongside an Adams or a Rocker if we're chasing a game. Really nice option to have. So I'll go with 7. I'll go with 7 on that. Let's move on to Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison, again, I thought good performance. Good performance, to be fair. I wouldn't quite go an 8, and I'm not going to go a 7.5, so I'll go a 7. I thought he linked up really nicely with Junior Firpo.
Yeah, I am disappointed because that's the most 7.5 thing you've ever said. It was a very 7.5 performance. Mate, it was. I again, same as you. I thought him and Junior Firpo linked up really well. I thought we were really dangerous down that side. The bits that, and again, we will caveat, it was Blackpool. It was a pre-season friendly, but the bits that usually are aimed at Harrison as criticisms, the decision making. He wasn't chopping into the middle of nowhere. He was sending good balls in. His delivery was good. He beat the first man. He got the assist for Firpo's header from the corner. Generally speaking, I thought he was probably one of our better players. I think obviously Firpo had a slightly better game in terms of getting himself a goal and the assist that wasn't an assist. But I was really happy with Jack Harrison and Firpo as a 2 last night. And obviously coming on to Gelhardt next as well. I've given Harrison 7.5 just because I wanted to distinguish that Gelhardt for me and Firpo were the 2 better players. But I'd say definitely Harrison one of the better players last night.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. Let's move on to Joffrey. Joffrey, I just thought it was just absolutely everywhere. Joffrey. I mean, obviously he does stray offside. 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Similar thing happened at Brentford as well, but the way he took the goal, how easily he took the goal, he's just some talent. I mean, the thing for me with Joffrey is he hasn't got a specific position for me. He's not like a natural centre forward. He's not a natural number 10. He's kind of in between the 2 kind of thing. He's got a really that Phil Foden kind of style of he can play anywhere, basically. He can play anywhere because he'll just play the games he sees it. You'll always be kind of playing a free role where he's just drifting to wherever the ball is. I thought he was really, really good yesterday, despite not getting a goal on the score sheet.
Yeah, didn't he? Let's be honest, he got a goal. Come on.
Literally,
we're giving him a goal.
Same as Brentford, he took the goal really well. 8 out of 10 for me.
8
out of 10.
Same, mate. I went 8 out of 10. Obviously, I've given man of the match to Firpo, but if it wasn't Firpo, it would have been Joffy. I mean, again, without putting too much pressure on a young lad, I start feeling as though we need to perhaps stop seeing Joffy as a youngster now, as daft as it sounds. When last season started, I looked at him and saw like a fresh-faced baby that was just itching to get minutes, but we weren't sure whether it was the right thing to do with throwing him in here and there. And his minutes were managed by both Marsh and Bielsa in terms of what he was given last year. Some people will think not enough. And obviously with the fitness issues around Bamford that are apparently persisting and the lack of another striker coming in, I do see a position for him that I can define in a way. And if you ever played Pro Evo back in the day, or if you're a FIFA man, I'd call it the SS, the second striker. I think if you've got the old little and large Bamford and 𝐃𝐎𝐓𝐁 together, I actually think I'd love him in that position, and the two of them up top would be lovely to watch. But I sort of, there was that summer where you saw Marcus Rashford go away at Man United and look like a skinny little Bambi figure, and he came back and he'd put a bit of muscle on, and he'd really stepped into that shirt. And there's been so many players that have had that at a young age. Wayne Rooney is obviously one that people will always compare to Joffy as well, but I already sort of see Joffy sort of starting to step out of his own under-23 shadow and become a senior footballer. Like, I think he's very much in terms of not just starting games here and there. I think he is competition for starting games with Patrick Bamford. He's competition for Rodrigo. And there's every chance of him starting more games than both of those two players next season. He's got every right to do that. He's earned that now. So in terms of the finish, just pure composure. And that's what I mean when I don't see a child playing football. I see an adult. Generally speaking, I think he could be massive for us, and that contract needs to get sorted before the end of this transfer window as soon as possible. You're on mute again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just think there's even a case for him starting regularly now for Leeds. Seriously, I still think he needs a striker, but as you say, I think that second striker in his front two is probably where you really see the numbers explode for Joffy. But listen, he's going to be a big part of the season. 5 subs, as I say, Greenwood, Joffy, nice options to add. I think Dan James as well. Listen, Dan James, I don't think will start games so much for Leeds next season like he did this season. But that injection of pace against tired legs, yeah, he might not give you 10 goals and assists and that, but give you numbers, but he will kind of change the game a little bit from that respect. And I think obviously Joffy can add you something as well. So I'm happy that we're building the squad, not just the starting 11, we're building a bit of the squad now. And the players were starting really out last season, their positions are under threat now, and that's how you improve in my honest opinion. So let's move on to the subs who we haven't spoken about yet. I think I was just conscious of time, mate. I was going to say, if we do for the subs, we just go for numbers now. We go for numbers.
Sure.
So class we've already done. Let's go. We're going to start with. If we do, okay, let's start with Davies, who came on. What did you make of Davies?
Yeah, I thought he was okay. Again, generally speaking, the first half was really good to watch because it had all the senior players. The second half kind of got spoiled a bit in terms of we made a load of changes, they made a load of changes. It became like one half of a senior game, one half of an under-23. So everyone on this half is going to get a bit lower. But I've gone 6.5 for Leif Davis.
Yeah, I've gone 6. Didn't think as effective going forward, but listen, I like him. So let's move on. Let's move on to Mullen, who came on for Koch. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought.
What was funny there?
I thought I could hear some like doorbell or something going in the background. It sounded funny. I thought Mullen had a really good game. I thought out of everyone that came on, he was probably one of the ones, especially out of the younger ones, that were really composed on the ball. Obviously, we didn't give away many chances in the second half, the same as we did in the first, and it's almost more impressive considering the standard age of the second half squad. So yeah, I was impressed. Probably out of the kids that I don't watch every week, taking Shackleton and Forshaw out, maybe Lewis Bate as well. thought Mullen was probably second half my man of the match. So I give him 7.5. Might be a bit high, but that's why I went.
7 for me. I went 7, but I can definitely see why you go a little bit higher on Jeremiah Mullen. But yeah, let's. I've just got a lovely super chat as well from MOT LUFC 1919. Thanks very much for this. Joffy is our number one striker for me. We need a backup keeper next.
Yeah.
I like Klaassen though. I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't convinced by Klaassen in the 23s last season, but when he actually stepped up into the first team, I mean, that extra bit of responsibility. I thought the mentality was superb in that Wolves game towards the end of the season when he played that second half. Made some crucial saves. Really good save yesterday as well. I think it's a backup.
A very small sample size, though.
Yeah, no, it is. But as a backup goalkeeper,
yeah,
I don't know if that's a priority right now. But listen, I'm not sure. Because it's kind of what do you go for with a backup goalkeeper? You're not going to be able to sign a really, really good keeper because they're going to want to start games week in, week out. But of course, you want someone who can put pressure on Meslier. Maybe you can go along the lines of an experienced head, a Ben Foster, something like that. But look at what Klaassen can do with the ball. I think he's really used to our system now in terms of playing out the back.
Yeah,
I'm not as convinced. I wouldn't mind it because obviously Klaassen is a small sample size. Maybe you can get out on loan to somewhere else because. Are we going to be able to keep on Meslier in the long term? Who knows? But if we can't, maybe get Klaassen some games elsewhere, like we have done with our trying to with Creswell, trying to with Drama. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I mean, realistically, I would say that I think the club are looking at another backup keeper. I think obviously the striker's the priority. That's it. End of. And depending on how much it costs, if we have the money left to do a backup goalkeeper, I think it is something they're looking at. But in terms of for me, Ben Foster's got to be a no. I don't mind the idea of going for an older, more experienced Premier League goalkeeper to do like, you know what Fraser Forster's gone to Tottenham to do, basically just sit on the bench or play in the Europa League every now and again, Champions League, whatever they end up in. I wouldn't mind having a keeper like that, but for me, I don't think Ben Foster is the right choice because there's no longevity in that. And like you said, with his feet, I don't really like talking shit about him.
It was just an example, by the way. It was only an example.
No, he is one that obviously I've seen linked with us for a while now. Contracts up at Watford. And for me, I think it's... I never want to say it, but I think it's time to just focus on your podcast, to be honest. I don't think he's a Premier League goalkeeper anymore. Like the Wolves game when they got dicked 4-0 and he got dinked by Ruben Neves, I just felt embarrassed for him. I really wouldn't want to see us sign a keeper like Ben Foster. I'd genuinely rather just give it Klaassen.
It did look great. I've got to say, it looked great on the vlog, though, when he got chipped.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, but I'd be embarrassed as shit to put that out. But
imagine Leeds fans, though, if we did have like a YouTuber goalkeeper, imagine how well that'd go there. Like in the South Stand and that, like he's setting up his little GoPro with like hiding the game. It's not going down well, is it?
Mate, imagine Chris Kirkland putting a GoPro in the back of the net. Leeds fans just running on the pitch and knock him out. It wouldn't go well. Don't bring him in. Don't let him bring his GoPro. Just tell him to go cycling and do some podcasts. Like leave him where he is. I don't have any names coming to mind, but he's definitely one that I don't want to see. I think if we are going to sign another goalkeeper, yes, they have to be older than Meslier and Klaassen because they're both 21, 22 max. But not necessarily old as in like 35 plus, where you're going to get 1 year out of them before they retire. Like, let's bring someone in late 20s, early 30s that can genuinely compete and give these two young goalkeepers something to actually like test them. So yeah, and someone that can help out as well in terms of like coaching them. So someone with experience in ideally like Champions League, Europa League, a European competition, like, and that could be someone from abroad, to be honest. Probably Spain, knowing Orta.
Let's move on to Amari Miller, who also played 45 minutes. Can I get a number from you on Amari Miller?
6.5. 6.5. 6.5.
Yeah, kind of go 6. I thought looked decent enough, some nice tidy touches, but yeah, I think is he someone who's gonna? Do you think maybe go on loan?
No, I don't think so. I think with Amari Miller, we've just signed him, and in terms of the under 23s is now the under 21s. I can see the under-21s being used really different this year in terms of how Bielsa used them. They're not going to be Adam Forshaw playing for them every week when he's trying to get back fit. I think it will just be an under-21 squad now. And I think Amari Miller, players like himself and Mullen and some of the lads will get on to like McGurk and Mateo Joseph. I think they will play week in, week out for the under-21s and actually build up some sort of genuine minutes rather than just having rotated injured players playing in their place instead. So I don't see him going out on loan now.
Okay, so let's just get numbers in now, because obviously these players hardly played any of the games in the context of things. Lewis Bates.
Yeah, same again, mate. I've gone 6.5. I didn't see too much. It wasn't exactly a West Ham performance, just same again. But another player, he's one that I think that question does apply to. He can't just be sitting in the under-21s now. He needs to be getting first team minutes. So if he's not going to get it for us, maybe go out on loan. I'm not sure.
I think he's a player where the 5 subs is quite key. I think he will get a lot more minutes. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get at least double the minutes he got last season for Leeds, certainly in the league. 6 for me yesterday, but I think someone who's, again, nice and tidy, maybe a decent little backup to Rocker, similar kind of profile to Rocker, but not really the same level just yet for me.
I hope he does get minutes, but if he's not going to, then I'd say could.
Yeah, I agree. I think if there's no chance, if there's no foreseeable way without injuries or suspensions, you have to take action really, and that's maybe the case with Cresswell, as much as I don't like to admit it. Adam Forshaw.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said earlier, the 2 more senior players that came on last night, I think they obviously stood out in terms of looking more senior players. So I'm going to do Forshaw and Shaq together. I thought Shaq was slightly better just because obviously the way that the fullbacks bombed on, I think that really suited Jamie Shackleton, which is perhaps a shame if the news about him going out on loan to Millwall with Cresswell today is true as well. But yeah, I mean, I thought Shackleton I gave 7.5 and Forshaw I gave 7. I thought both of them obviously stood out when they came on in what was a bit of a drab second half.
Yeah, I've gone a little bit lower. I went 6 for Forshaw, 7 for Shackleton, but let's just get a couple of ratings in.
Yeah.
5 for Bates off Gale. Lewis Bates should go on loan according to D. Agreeing with Phil there. Gale set Forshaw 6. And Scooby D2 said, right now, Bates should be back up to our 2 defensive midfielders, but we need another there. Though striker more needed. Agreed. Yeah. So let's move on to, who are we going to move on to next?
There's Moore, McGurk, Joseph and Allen remaining.
Chris Moore's not remaining?
I mean, yeah, Chris Moore. I'll be honest, Chris Moore, McGurk and Mateo Joseph, I've given them all 6.5. And then
it's not a lot to kind of like go into, is there really? It's
not really much to say.
Promising players, maybe going to be bigger parts of the 21s, possibly maybe in a loan to the Championship, League One, who knows, but decent, promising enough players. Let's give him some time. Charlie Allen, did you give a rating to there?
Yeah, I gave him a rating. I gave him 6. I mean, you could probably not give a rating because he only came on quite late, and I don't really think he touched the ball that much. So just a 6. But again, all the young players, great to see them get minutes in a pre-season friendly against the Championship side, and obviously they've got their own escapades in like the Papa Johns this year where they get to play similar games. So it's only going to be good for them moving forward. So great to see them get minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I think Charlie Allen's someone who's been very, very highly rated in the. I mean, I think when we actually signed him from Linfield, we signed him from, I think.
Yeah,
Linfield. Someone in Northern Ireland, anyway. I know Scott Wilson, especially, was very excited about it. He was making an impression then when we signed him. He's definitely one to watch. But I think Archie Gray probably above them, that group now that we've kind of just spoken about in terms of being close to the first team. But yeah, let's wait and see how that plays out. But it's very interesting to see. Certainly, the under 21s are going to be very, very watchable next season under Andy Taylor. In fact, is it Andy Taylor? This is going to be another change.
I'm not entirely sure if they've fully announced it. Obviously, there was 2.
Yeah, I know Andy Taylor took over, but there has been some. Yeah, we might do a bit on that because there's been some switch up on the management, the team side of things. Now, obviously. A few have joined us in the last couple of weeks as well. But yeah, it's been a great video as always. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button as well. Check out mine and Scott's most recent videos also, reacting to our latest transfer. A little bit on Rafinha in there as well from Scott's sources and that lot, Scott's famous sources. Anyway, guys, big thanks to Phil. We'll probably be back in a couple of days' time to do another video, I think. Certainly when the next pre-season game is. I think it's Villa, isn't it? Is it the 19th, is it? Or is it sooner than that?
No, they fly,
they
fly on Sunday, don't they?
Yeah, it is. Is it the 14th? I know Villa's around the 19th or something like that. But anyway, next game we'll do a player ratings as well. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're on the road to 26k now, so if you can help us get there, guys, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to, and we'll see you later, guys. Anyway, see you later.
Peace.
Cheers, guys.